Viktor Frankl discovered by being in a concentration camp that some people lived and some people died for their belief systems. Basically, if you believed that your life had meaning, and it could be simple, it could be somebody's waiting for you, a child, it could be a book you haven't written, it could be anything at all. But if you really wanted to do those things, you lived. And if you gave up on everything, if you felt that you had no real reason to keep going, you would die very quickly because the abuse was extreme and you were starving. I have always searched for some kind of meaning, and I found it for long periods. And right now, I have several reasons to keep living. Um, yeah, it's a list of 5 or 6 things. But I do remember times when I was wondering, what am I supposed to be doing? That's a miserable feeling. Now, I was young at the time, and I was not close to death. So it wasn't a matter of life and death. It was basically, for me, just a period of wandering and trying to figure out, what will I do in life? And when I found that period, which lasted a good 30 years, was a very vigorous time. And there were a lot of elements to it. It was more than just meaning, it was love, it was closeness to nature, it was interest in where I was and the environment itself. But I had some inner um, direction of things I wanted to do. And I practiced those things every day. I've never been stronger. And even when you're knocked down, as I was when I was in my 70s, something will keep you going. If you give up, it's over. But if you actually go through a period where you're not sure which direction to go or what to do, and you're kind of letting it play out, but you don't tell yourself, I've got nothing to live for. You assume that you will find something, and I did. I mean, it just kind of came up. It started happening, but that impulse to consider something so important that you want to see how it plays out. You want to actually develop it as far as you can. Um, I think that is a life giving thing for everybody. What we often have after we go through a period like that and it collapses, which it almost always does, we hang on to it. We actually don't want to let that go, but it's moribund. It's dead. It's not coming back. We have to let that go and find the new thing. And the new thing has to still have that feeling that this is worth doing. This is something I want to see how it evolves, and I want to work on it. And I'm going to stick around as long as I can to make that happen. So, even for somebody at my age, middle 80s, I'm I'm still motivated by those kinds of thoughts and feelings. And actually, I have a lot of projects. I had to start from scratch again, and it has been very difficult to let go of the beautiful life that I had before. But um, the creative impulse will out. It is something that if you let it go, it'll create a new life, even at a late time in your life, a late stage. You can find a new impulse and keep going. And I don't think you can latch onto something because you don't want to die. I think it has to be genuine. It has to be a real thing that you really are interested in, something that has been waiting to be worked on, waiting to be cultivated. And that was my case anyway. I can't imagine just picking up a hobby that just to keep myself busy, I will do it, although it's kind of pointless. No, for me, it has to have a point. It actually has to have a goal, and the goal has to mean something. So when it comes down to it, what we need to keep us going, and not just going day to day, but having a real energy and really thriving, is meaning. We have to have meaning. If we have meaning in our life, if our life means something, and it's whatever is important, whatever to you is worth living for, then that's the meaning that will keep you going and will contribute to the world. You can actually find in yourself, regardless of circumstances, you can find in yourself something you still want to give to the world. I think that's a really nice idea.